big topic moving forward regarding the Arizona Cardinals is if Kyler Murray is the quarterback of the future. And in today's Madden 25 rebuild, I am trading away Kyler and winning the Arizona Cardinals a Super Bowl. And this video does not end until I do so. The Arizona Cardinals are a very fascinating team. They're in a pretty unique spot as well, going 8-9 this past year. But a lot of questions about the future of this team and which direction to go, specifically with quarterback Kyler Murray. Now, quickly taking a look at the roster, there obviously are some studs like Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride to build around, but the offensive line could use some resources. Another wide receiver could be used as well. And I think Trey Benson and James Conner is a fine tandem, but we might also want kind of a speed back down the line. But defensively for Arizona is where a lot of work is needed. The safety position is actually one of the better ones in the league, with Budda Baker leading the way, 93 overall superstar X factor. But outside of the safety spot, yeah, it's pretty rough on the defensive line, the linebacking core, and of course the secondary, really outside of Sean Murphy-Bunting, who should probably be like cornerback 3. But this rebuild is set after the 2024 season, so we're in the 2025 offseason, and now we have to find a trade partner for Kyler Murray. I have no idea what his market will be. We'll have to figure it out because that is the first step in this Arizona Cardinals rebuild. Now, players to bring back, I'm not really interested in bringing any of these players back. I mean, there's not really anybody worth paying $10+ million to. So we're just going to take our $100 million, move it on to free agency. Now, just checking the market of Kyler Murray, here are some of the teams putting in offers, including both of the New York teams. And I love this trade offer right here. Breece Hall and a couple of day 3 picks, including a 3rd rounder, which is pretty cool as well. I might try and counter the Jets and just take away all of these picks and see if we can get like maybe their 1st rounder for like Kyler and our 3rd. I just don't really think any of those picks are worth anything. And if we can get the number 7 pick in this year's draft, that's going to help us a ton in our quest for a new quarterback. Okay, my original plan did not work, but I'm trading away Kyler and the 16th overall pick for the number 7 pick, Breece Hall, and a 3rd round selection. I'd say this is a pretty good trade for us. And in free agency, we do have money to spend, and DJ Reed, probably one of the best players on the market. I'm going to offer him a 2-year deal, so not super long term because he is 28 years old, but I do like this for the short term. He does have some interest in coming down to Arizona, so he's going to get an offer. I think somebody like Paulson Adebo as well is worth a contract, and he's 2 years younger, so we could really help out our secondary getting both of these players if they do want to sign with us. And then for the rest of the signings, I think I'm going to try and get positions of need, but with high upside and young players like Chase Young, who is a former top 3 pick in the NFL draft, so we'll also offer him a 2-year deal. And even somebody like Mekhi Becton, who had a career turnaround with the Philadelphia Eagles, we're going to give him a pretty nice contract now to help out on our offensive line. And the only player we ended up getting was Mekhi Becton, which is kind of crazy because when you see where these guys went to the New York Giants, I don't think that's a much better situation than coming down to Arizona. And now in the NFL draft, the top 3 went pretty much as I expected. Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, and Shedeur Sanders. The Patriots, though, are going to take Travis Hunter. And I think I might want to try and make a move for him, snag ourselves probably the best overall player in this draft. I don't know how likely it is that we can, in fact, make this trade happen, but I'm going to try because I feel like Travis Hunter could be a pillar on our team. And so we're going to offer the 7 pick, try and get the number 4 selection, maybe offer to start off with one of our 3rd, pick number 92, and see how close we are. And I guess that worked. I feel like that was way too easy, but we traded pick 92, and now we're in range for Travis Hunter. I'm pretty surprised how easy that went, but I want Travis Hunter. That's who I kind of wanted before this draft even began. And Hunter, welcome to the Arizona Cardinals. His position is wide receiver, though. That is interesting. I think we could potentially change that if I really want to, but he is in fact listed as a wide receiver, but I mean, his measurables are ridiculous. And now here in round 2, I'm kind of just going with the knowledge I have about these prospects in real life. And Jahad Campbell here out of Alabama, he's an absolute stud, a middle linebacker from Bama, and he is an absolute beast. True value at number 42, we got him at 48, so definitely a pretty solid pick here. He is hidden dev with 90 speed and 92 acceleration, 6'3", 244 pounds. We just got ourselves the new signal caller on our defense. Now here in the 3rd round, I'm going to take another player I'm pretty familiar with, and that is Ollie Gordon II out of Oklahoma State. He was seems like a borderline first round pick before this past college season. And then he kind of fell off, and Oklahoma State had a terrible season. But I'm going to draft his talent here because we do need an elusive back, a guy that can be very helpful out of the backfield. And we basically got exactly where his value is. He is hidden dev, only 90 speed though, which I don't love, but he is 6'2", 225, and I think he still has pretty good measurables. And here's a quick draft recap. Of course, Travis Hunter, 83 overall, probably the best player in the draft. Campbell here is a 74 overall, which is really good for hidden dev. Ollie Gordon is 72, very good as well. Jackson Dart, I let the CPU draft our final 2 picks. Dart was one of them in the 4th round. He might be starting for us this year. Could happen. And then DeMonte Capehart from Clemson. And oh my God, I forgot we traded for Breece Hall. I completely forgot we traded for him. And then I just took Ollie Gordon. So we have an absolute stable of running backs. I don't know why I just forgot it, but we have Breece Hall. I completely just did not even remember that trade. I do also think for now I'm going to make Travis Hunter a corner. Hopefully that doesn't mess with his overall too much, but I think that is the position I want to have him play for us at least right away. And he is an 84, so actually higher, which is cool. But defensively, we have to figure out the defensive line. It's probably the worst in the league. And then offensively, obviously, find our quarterback and fix up the offensive line. Might try to trade away James Conner for maybe a left guard or just somebody on the defensive line that's solid. I think Conner, he does have a little bit of value, but he won't for much longer due to his age. This is what I ended up pulling off. Another trade with the Patriots, getting Cole Strange, 75 overall, still 27 years old, not relatively expensive. Getting rid of James Conner, gains our backup center, and then 2 day 3 picks. So not giving up too much, and we get a solid starter on the O-line. A quick look at the draft class this year. We're all in on a quarterback if Jackson Dart just doesn't have an insane rookie season. And this man here from Hawaii, I can't even begin to pronounce his name, Christian Suzukazi, Christian Sekowaski. He's the #1 quarterback, allegedly top 5 projections. So he could be the guy that we get if we are in range to get him. A quick stop halfway through the season. We are 0-6. So I think that is kind of expected with our quarterback situation starting 68 overall rookie in Jackson Dart. But man, 0-6 is pretty crazy. We do find ourselves en route for that top quarterback prospect, which I guess is cool. We do have some negotiations to begin, and the biggest one is Trey McBride, one of the best tight ends in the league. I'm going to give him this neutral offer to start off and see if we can save some money, and it looks like we can. Breece Hall as well, still young, still ascending as a superstar. I want to give him a 4-year deal as well. And we're locking up all really the key pieces of our team. Jalen Thompson, of course, still a very solid safety for us. Going to give him a contract extension as well. Cole Strange, I think he could be plateauing a little bit, but still a very serviceable center for us. I'll try to give him a 2-year deal, bring him back, and he will come back as well. We end the season 3-14. I actually think at one point we were 0-10. So ending the year 3-4 with a little bit of momentum. I still hope, though, we do have the #1 overall pick because this quarterback, I believe, is generational, and we are, in fact, the #1 selection, which is huge because look at Christian Sikowski here. A's all across the board, a top 5 talent. This guy's him. A quick look at the stats this year. You can see pretty quickly on why we did not perform well. Jackson Dart with 26 interceptions. Breece Hall over 1,000 yards, which is cool. Receiving wise, Marvin Harrison had a good season. Same with Trey McBride, and Xavier Weaver from Colorado actually put together a pretty solid campaign. Looks like the offensive line just did not block well at all. Maybe that has to do with Jackson Dart just not throwing the football or not. Who knows? It looks like Travis Hunter had 7 interceptions as a rookie. He definitely won Defensive Rookie of the Year, which is huge. Last look at some players before we head into free agency. Paris Johnson Jr. obviously going to accept his 5th-year option. One of the best left tackles upcoming in the league. Jonah Williams, I'm going to offer him a small contract again. If he doesn't want it, he can go to free agency. He's gone. And oh my goodness, there are some players, including Micah Parsons. The problem is he has no interest in joining our team. I'm going to throw the absolute kitchen sink at him and hope we can get him for like $20 million a season. I'll even up this more to like $23 million. He's going to be such a disgustingly paid player, but I want Micah Parsons, 99 overall. Are you kidding me? And one of these receivers as well would be really cool to pair with Marvin Harrison Jr. So why not get Garrett Wilson, kind of just reunite the weapons of the New York Jets, getting Wilson and of course, maybe Breece Hall. But I guess we're going to try it with these 3 free agents, and Micah Parsons did go to the Denver Broncos. Garrett Wilson also went to the New Orleans Saints. We didn't even have a chance to go after Khalil Shakir, who went to the New York Giants. So we missed out on all of the top free agents. We did get ourselves Jonah Williams, but there's nobody else I really want to go after in free agency, so we head to the draft. And here we go. This is the biggest moment of our franchise in recent years. We're getting another number 1 overall pick quarterback, Christian Sikowaski. I did scout these quarterbacks, and there's nobody even close to as good as the 6'6" demon from Hawaii. I am going to draft him, not even think twice about it. And we now have our quarterback of the future, and he's going to completely change the complexion of our franchise. Announce that pick, Roger, and let me see the attributes of this guy. Now, Christian played college basketball for 2 years. He can make every throw. Great touch on intermediate throws, and the number 1 player in the draft. 97 throw power, 79 speed, so kind of more of like a pocket guy. Maybe like a Big Ben with his size and skills. All across the board, under pressure, his accuracies. This guy's generational. Top of the second round here, I'm going to help out our interior of our defensive line and get Antoine Spencer here. 6'6", over 300 pounds from Ohio State, probably the number 1 player on the board. And hopefully this guy's pretty good. And he's not. I don't know why they're saying it's an excellent pick. He's ranked 113 in true value. I guess he is still hidden dev, 92 strength, but I'm not exactly sure why the value is so bad. Also going to take our right tackle of the future in Devin Middleton, a 6'8", 338-pound specimen. He's just got pretty good athletic traits as well, and he's 97 in true value, so kind of a reach again. But he's hidden dev, 90 strength, so I like these hidden devs, although they might not be the highest overall right away. And honestly, the draft recap is pretty good. 82 overall quarterback right out of the gates. That's going to be ridiculous, especially since he's hidden dev. And then both of our linemen are lower 70 overalls, but not in the 60s, and they're still hidden dev. So I kind of like how this turned out. But here's the roster heading into year number 2. I put in Middleton to start right away at right tackle. Is actually like just as good as Jonah Williams. The offensive line is actually coming together. I kind of like a couple of the moves we made, getting Cole Strange and Mekhi Becton. So the O-line should be a lot better, I think, after this year. We still need probably a wide receiver 3, but for now, Wilson, Harrison, and McBride will do. The running back core is still really, really good. We do have Breece Hall signed up long term, and really all of our focus now needs to go on the defensive side of the ball. I like Spencer at defensive tackle, but both edge positions, another pass rusher, another corner, we really need to get some more resources on defense, and that's going to happen in free agency and in the draft next year. Right now, we just have Travis Hunter and Budda Baker kind of just holding it down. And through the midseason point, we're still really struggling. I think it has to do with our defensive line and still just a young quarterback. I didn't expect to be like good this year, but I thought we might be a little bit better than 1-6, although I guess we are a little bit competitive, only losing by 3 points to the Eagles. But we do have a good amount of players to re-sign this year and still so much cap space. We really need this to be a big free agent class because we just have loads of money and we want to maximize this window with a rookie quarterback and still some of our older players like Budda Baker getting up there a little bit. Honestly, again, a pretty good end of the season, ending 5-12, so some more improvement off of last season. I'm just really eager to check the stats of our rookie quarterback, and it looks like he had himself a pretty good season. 3,600 yards, 29 touchdowns to 21 interceptions. So we definitely have to take those down a little bit if he is going to reach his full potential. On the ground, Breece Hall with another really, really good season, over 1,100 yards. Receiving-wise, Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of breaking out this year. Rock Taylor, don't even know who this guy is. For some reason, he was our second leading wide receiver ahead of Trey McBride and Michael Wilson. But on the defensive side of the ball, Campbell taking another step with 4 picks this year. Travis Hunter had 4 more picks. We have 2 really nice young pillars on our defense. But players to bring back, Marvin Harrison Jr., I am going to accept his 5th-year option. Darius Robinson, I am not. He has just not become a very good player for us. And the rest of these guys, I'm fine letting walk. But we need some key free agents to be in free agency really, really badly. And there's just not anybody that is of interest to us. We don't really need Marlon Humphrey. He's 31 years old. I don't need a center. At wide receiver, there's nothing really special, and none of these guys have any interest in playing for us. It's just pretty rough. This is one thing I don't love about these Madden kind of rebuilds in free agency. You usually have so much cap space, but just nobody to spend it on. Like, I guess we can bring in like Leonard Williams just to have kind of a stopgap on the defensive line. But I mean, none of these are long-term moves. I guess Jermaine Johnson, he wants to come on a 3-year deal as well. We can offer him that contract, but again, none of these guys are like going to be game changers for us. Okay, it says we have Leonard Williams, so he signed. So Jermaine Johnson decided to go to the Falcons. I'm going to offer Chase Young kind of a similar contract, and that's really going to be it for free agency. Hopefully we can get him to sign. He does not, so we're just going to move on to Lucas Van Ness. Offer him kind of the same contract. We're trying to shore up the trenches. He didn't sign with us either. We just cannot get anybody to come to Arizona. How about John Franklin Myers? Does he want a 2-year contract? Why don't you come down to Arizona? We need some more depth. And now here in the NFL draft, I have our selection. Kind of not exactly what we need, but I'm going BPA, and you can already see it. It is the top 5 talent in Herschel Buckley out of NC State. We've been needing another receiver, and now we're going to get one for our generational quarterback. I think this guy's going to be a stud next to Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride. But yeah, number 5 in true value, got him at number 5, and he is hidden dev. 90 speed, 90 jumping, kind of just looks like a solid player all around. We'll take it. Not going to overthink this one. We need some more help in the pass rush, and Malik Bush here, he seems to be the best one on the board out of Georgia, and hopefully he is a blue chip player for us, and he's 79 in true value. He is hidden dev, 90 acceleration, 83 speed. Honestly, not bad metrics for a speed rusher, but I just don't love seeing his value be that low. Win BPA on another defensive lineman, a defensive tackle from Mississippi, I believe, and he's 26 in true value. Got him at 69, so he's actually a really good player. Of course, he is only normal dev though, but 6'5", 300 pounds. Hopefully with that true value, he turns out to be a pretty good player. And the draft recap is honestly pretty good. Buckley, 80 overall right out of the gates. We have Bush here, a 74. Odom is a 76. So our defensive line kind of coming together just like that. The CPU also drafted a 74 overall tight end and a corner who looks pretty decent. Should be some good depth as well. So overall, kind of a pretty good draft for us. And the roster in year number 3, I think is really coming together. I think we have all of our playmakers, our star-studded quarterback. The offensive line continues to improve, is still a really, really solid unit. And then defensively, with some of the veterans that we signed, getting a couple of other drafted players like Spencer and Odom continuing to progress. Bush, of course, in the linebacking unit. A couple of other solid veterans in the secondary. Our defense is just a lot more formidable this year. I think we have a real chance to make the postseason. And through the midseason point, we might just be ahead of schedule. 5-1, 86 overall. We do have 20 more players to extend or move on from. And Budda Baker, 31 years old, but he's been the best player on our team for several years now. I want to let him win a ring here in Arizona. 3 more years, he's coming back. Harris Johnson Jr., one of the best left tackles in the league. We're going to get him back as well. Trey Benson, probably going to let him walk because we do have Ollie Gordon, who we did draft. Cole Strange, not super interested in returning, but I will offer him this 1-year deal and he will accept it. And then we have some decisions to make, like on Jalen Watson, Max Melton, some of the younger defenders on our team. I do think I'll bring back one of these corners. And I guess because Watson has more value, I'll just try and bring him back on another 1-year deal. And that should just about do it for us for our players who are leaving in free agency. And the Arizona Cardinals are back in the postseason. We did lose the last game of the regular season, which I do think made us the number 7 seed going at Carolina in our opening game. But honestly, a pretty good turnaround. Back-to-back pretty poor years to making the playoffs. I will definitely take that. I think it has to do with the progress that our rookie quarterback made from a season ago. And yeah, 4,500 yards, 38 touchdowns to 11 picks. This guy is an absolute stud. Breece Hall did not get as many carries this year, but the reason for that is we have 2 1,000-yard receivers, and Herschel Buckley at 18 touchdowns as a rookie. This guy is generational. It looks like the O-line blocked better this year, although Paris Johnson still lit up 5 sacks. But I mean, look at Campbell, 3.5 sacks this year, 6 picks, 129 tackles. And Travis Hunter, he continues to just get past that less and less. Still had 2 picks. Our defense is really balling out. And look at our pass rush even. 9.5 sacks from Leonard Williams, 9 sacks from our second-year defensive tackle, Antoine Spencer. It looks like the Panthers are starting off with a 7-0 lead. Why don't we hop in here and take a look at this offense? I actually haven't played Madden or any kind of football video game, including college football, in months. So we'll see if we still have some ability here. But this third down play, just going to dump it off here to Breece Hall. He's going to pick up that first down and a bit more. 1st and 10 now inside the red zone. Going to try and get us on the board before hopping out, and we're going to try and scramble here with our quarterback. Nothing open, throw that away. 2nd and 10 with our loaded offense. There's Buckley across the middle of the field, in for 6. His 19th touchdown of the year. Honestly, kind of a defensive battle. We're actually about to take the lead here against the Panthers, 14-7, and we're once again still moving it. Our defense is balling out. 2 turnovers each for both teams, and Carolina getting a little nervous here at home. Going to check it down here to Breece Hall. He's going to be a bit short. I will say, I feel like whenever I hop in, just these stats are just not realistic whatsoever. I wonder if that has to do with playing like 6-minute quarters. If you guys have any answer for that, let me know. But we're just going to quarterback sneak here and easily pick that up. And 3rd and 6, I'm going to let the CPU just take us home. 4th and goal here, and it looks like it's over. 14-7, just ran out the clock. And the Arizona Cardinals went on the road as the number 7 seed and took down Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. What a way to get our first playoff win. We've got the Packers this week, the number 1 seed, on the road. Not going to be easy. And Green Bay starts off 7-0, and it looks like they're driving again, 14-0. But our offense is going to answer and kind of make it a ball game. But our defense is really struggling to stop Jordan Love and this Packers offensive attack. And it just doesn't look like we have the horses to compete in this game quite yet. 14-31. Can we try and get some garbage time points? We can. 31-21. We're going to lose at Lambeau Field to the Green Bay Packers, but still a really good season for us. Packers did go on to win the Super Bowl with Jordan Love as the Super Bowl MVP, but Herschel Buckley, he took home Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is going to give him a depth trade upgrade and really help us going into year number 2 of his NFL career. Last look at our players heading to free agency. I am going to accept the 5th-year option on Travis Hunter. A little worried about his interest meter. It's very, very low, and we do have to extend him this season. But outside of Hunter, I think I'm okay with letting the rest of these guys walk. And again, $98 million in free agency. I guess Leonard Williams, we can bring him back. He's only on a 1-year deal, was pretty good for us this year. Why not? And the free agent class is okay. We could use Terrion Arnold. He is superstar X Factor, but only an 86 overall. I'm not going to make the mistake and give him like a neutral contract. We will go player friendly. Our pass defense was not great last year. I don't know how, because our secondary was pretty good, but getting Arnold, moving Garrett Williams to the slot, I think he's actually always been there. And then Jalen Watson as our cornerback 4 would really make our secondary good. So Arnold is going to get a contract. It looks like a lot of the Detroit Lions players are up for contract this free agency. I guess we could offer Trey Smith because we do have the money. I want to offer him a player-friendly deal, and then we'll have ourselves one of the best guards in football. I think somebody like Christian Wilkins would be pretty good on a 1-year deal as he tries to kind of chase a ring, just some more depth on our defensive line. And then I guess Jonathan Cooper, maybe just move him to like inside linebacker. I mean, we just need kind of one more linebacker, I would say. So those are going to be the offers I make, and then we will see here if we do get any of these guys. It looks like Jonathan Cooper signed, but how about anybody else? It's kind of a glitch, I think. It doesn't show us everybody. Kind of scared to go to top 100, but we did get Trey Smith. We did get Terrion Arnold. So a playoff win did help us get some of the top free agents. Actually very exciting. Even got Christian Wilkins. So our team's going to take another step forward next year. Now, before the NFL draft, I'm doing a little bit of scouting, and Joe Dunbar here, he looks like a really good player. We need another free safety as Jalen Thompson is starting to get old. I might try and ship Thompson our 1st round pick and maybe a bit more to move up with Washington to get Dunbar. I'll see if he's around at pick number 12, and if he is, I'm going to pounce. We got the trade done with Washington. Thompson, our 1st and a 3rd for the number 12 selection, and we are going to move up and take that generational safety. Shame on the Commanders for not doing their scouting, because we are going to get one of the best players in this draft here in Joe Dunbar from Oregon State, top 5 talent, and yeah, number 2 player in this draft. This guy's a stud. 92 speed, 90 jumping, 91 acceleration, 90 agility. He's probably going to be just as good as Thompson was in terms of overall. And now with hidden dev and his high upside potential, a great pick. We do need a center replacement. So here in the 2nd round, Max Logan, the centers always look so good in terms of their player profile, and 25 in true value, got him at 57. this guy's really, really good. Found our center of the future as well. Quick look at the draft recap, and yep, Joe Dunbar, 81 overall, 76 overall for Max Logan. Two really good players for us. Let's take a look at who the best player was in this draft, and actually looks like we might have gotten one of the best. So actually the second best player, Jonathan Seymour, a guard. I'm going to try and get this trade done with the Ravens. I want to get Leonard Miller because I think the one weak spot on our team is our second middle linebacker position. They're close to accepting this trade, so I'm going to offer probably like a 5th round pick and get this trade sent through. I just want to make sure that every glaring hole on our team is kind of filled as we go for almost a Super Bowl run in the next 2 years. And having no real depth at the linebacking spot is definitely something I want to address. So we're going to try and give them a 4th round pick. They still won't accept. I think we throw in a 7th. It should get the trade across the finish line, and it does. We are going to get ourselves a new middle linebacker. In the process, we do also get rid of our starting center, but he was owed, I think, like $8 or $9 million. So we're actually going to kind of save money in the long term, and we're actually going to be starting our rookie this year, who is Hidden Dev, and really not too far behind them in terms of overall. And now defensively, honestly looks a lot better with Miller now next to Campbell as our 2 middle linebackers. Bush, who we drafted a year ago, with Collins as our 2 outside linebackers. And then a lot of vets on the defensive line. Christian Wilkins, Leonard Williams, and then Spencer and Odom. Our secondary is completely revamped with Travis Hunter, Aaron Arnold, Buda Baker, and Joe Dunbar as our new free safety. We are an 89 overall, 91 offense, 87 defense. And with how young a lot of our talent is, I only expect that to go up this season. Coming off of a pretty bad loss, but we still are 5-1. Trailing the Rams for number 1 in the NFC West. There's 20 players we have to re-sign. Obviously, Jahad Campbell, Marvin Harrison Jr., Ollie Gordon. There's a lot of them. And the bad news is, I don't know why Campbell has no interest in playing for us. I'm going to give him a very player-friendly deal because I'm worried he's not going to accept it, but he does right away. So Campbell's going to be coming back. Marvin Harrison Jr., I do want him back. I don't know if I want to overpay him that much, so we'll give him a player-friendly deal. He will accept, which is cool. Ollie Gordon, we don't have to overpay for him. He's just been a solid player for us, and he is going to stay. Garrett Williams has developed into a great slot cornerback for us. Want to extend him again, and he's not going to at the moment, but pretty confident he'll be back. And then Jackson Dart actually has developed into a pretty decent backup, but we don't want him. BJ Ojolari, another guy I want back on a smaller contract, a good depth player. I say the same thing about Zaven Collins, but he's kind of starting for us, so I want him back as well, although he is 29 years old. But overall, honestly, pretty good. I don't think we need Jalen Watson back anymore. And we should be pretty good, I think, for the rest of these players. Just get Garrett Williams signed the next couple of weeks, and we're pretty good. We had some slight improvement this year, going 11-6. A pretty disappointing second half of the season. I believe we started 6-2 and then finished the year 5-4. So definitely not super great, but we did make the playoffs again, which is, I would say, better than what we did last year because we are the 5 seed. But it has to do with our defense. I was trying to kind of maneuver around the defensive playbook, and it just really didn't help whatsoever. I mean, our defense was one of the worst in the league this year, which doesn't really make a ton of sense when you consider all the talent that we had. But oh my goodness, this Christian Zukowski guy is unreal. 4,700 yards, 49 touchdowns. He's got to be the best quarterback in the league. Breece Hall over 1,000 yards again this season, and through the air. It's unbelievable. Buckley, McBride, Wilson, Harrison Jr. We actually gave up a ton of sacks this year for some reason, but defensively, Campbell still is just a tackle machine. 5 picks as well. He's got to be probably the best linebacker in the sport. Travis Hunter, another 3 interceptions. So defense this year, not really impressive. I think the defensive line kind of took a step back. So may have to make a trade this offseason if we can't get over the hump for a star-studded pass rusher. I'm hoping we can take down the Saints. I mean, we are the better overall, had a better record this season. We have some playoff experience, but it looks like, again, our defense, we just cannot stop anybody. 10 points already from the Saints, 2-minute drill before half, still can't score. And again, the Saints are driving it, going for it on 4th, and it looks like they're going to score another touchdown. I'm going to try and hop in here and save the day, but nothing's really clicking for our team here today. And I like McBride here underneath. Can he break a tackle, get in the end zone? He can. Down to the 1. This is what I'm talking about. I just hate the sim engine when you hop in. Zukowski has 49 touchdowns this year. I hop in, he doesn't have one against the Saints. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. But fire into the end zone here. Buckley holds on. 3-point game. And now we're going to try and get a stop. I don't recognize anybody on this Saints team, but we have Campbell here, one of the best linebackers in the league, making a nice tackle there. I think Jonathan Brooks might be their running back, which I don't know how the Panthers kind of let him go, as he's emerged as one of the best running backs in the league, it looks like. But here we go. On the outside, Brooks has got the first down, and he's got a bit more. Hunter is going to chase him down, but man, that hurts. Our only hope here is to force him to a field goal, call all 3 timeouts, and then have a legacy drive from our offense. Going to keep bringing all-out blitz and rushing up the middle, and there's one stop. Another run here up the middle. Brooks is going nowhere. Actually going to plow forward for a yard, but another timeout. I don't think the Saints will pass here with the CPU, but we're going to just worry about it just in case. 3rd and 7. They are going to throw for it. Firing to the end zone. It's incomplete. Garrett Wilson is out of bounds. And now we have one timeout, just over a minute to go win this game. The field goal is up, and it is good, so we need a touchdown. Touchdown or nothing. 57 seconds officially. Been one of the best offenses in the league all season. Have the best quarterback in the league. Maybe the MVP of the league. Can we go down the field and make something happen? Here's Buckley. He's got to be one of the best receivers in the sport. Going no huddle here. Took a lot of time off the clock there. But we really got to go. McBride up the sideline. Make a catch. McBride. He holds on to it. Spike the football. Spike the football. We got to hurry up. Got it off. Maybe could have thought about using a timeout there, but I want to save it for one more chunk play and then have a couple of shots at the end zone. So here we go. We have Buckley in the slot right up the middle of the field. Going to throw it to him. Buckley, he's in hold on timeout. And we are in range. 14 seconds at the 6-yard line. No sack, no tackle, in the field of play. And we should be good. Cross the middle of the field. Fire to the back of the end zone. Almost picked. I thought McBride was going to break that route way sooner there. But it's okay. We have a 2nd and goal here. McBride again, middle of the field. He holds on to it. Trey McBride, touchdown. And we're 1 extra point away from taking the lead. New Orleans, they can't believe it. But there's 4 seconds left. And we're 1 just stop away from winning this game. And that's not going to get there. Terran Arnold going over to break it up. And the Arizona Cardinals, in huge upset fashion, last drive, walk-off touchdown. We're moving on to the divisional round. In round 2, we do get the number 2 seed, the Los Angeles Rams, who did have a close win against the Seattle Seahawks. But I kind of like our chances in this game. I think we did split the single season series between the Rams. I guess we can check that here. So we won against the Rams 51-26, and then I can't even see the other game. And then at the Rams lost 24-42. So split the season series, and now we got to try and beat him in the rubber match. Looks like we are starting off with the football and bringing it right down the field. 7-0, but our defense still struggling as the Rams move right down the field. 7-7, but our offense continues to cook. We're going to have to settle for 3, though. You can't settle for field goals in a game of this magnitude. We're going to have to settle for another one. 14-13 at half, 21-13. And again, we couldn't get the 2-point conversion, and we're now in the 4th quarter. The Rams, they're moving it right down the field. And I got to try and hop in here and get a stop on 3rd and 4. They've got a receiver in motion here. Kyron Williams in the backfield, and he's going to fire to the end zone. Terran Arnold with the interception, and oh my goodness, if he didn't step out, we had a pick 6. But now our offense has the ball with 3 minutes to go, only needing a field goal to move on to the NFC Championship game. How will one of our best players in the league respond? He's going to take a sack. I don't know why our offensive line, I would say even statistically, hasn't been good. We have a lot of really good players on that unit, including Trey Smith this year. But here we go in 2nd and 15. We need a chunk play now. And firing, it's going to be dropped by Marvin Harrison. And now we got 3rd and 15. If we get somewhat close to this, I'm going to make sure we go for it. But I would like a beautiful play here, a screen pass to Breece Hall. And he's got a lot of green grass. Breece Hall, he's a little short, but we're going for it. Here we go. I like Buckley or McBride here right away. And McBride wide open, stick route. He's got the first down. We keep the drive moving. We've got a minute and a half, probably need 20 yards for a comfortable field goal. Just no sacks again, and there's some pressure. Gonna fire it, and another drop. Braden Fisk is a handful for our defensive line. So we're going empty here. Don't know if I agree, but again, across the middle of the field, this time it's gonna be caught. I don't really love these play calls. No throws, kind of down the field. We need some yardage. 3rd and 7, and again, across the middle of the field, another drop by Marvin Harrison Jr. And now I gotta hop in on 4th down and do this again. I like Buckley, and I just got to fire it. Buckley up the field. He holds on. It's actually going to be dropped. So many drop passes on that final drive. And now there's 58 seconds. We have all 3 timeouts, but we have to get a stop. And Kyron Williams picks up 6 yards on the first play. I'm going to see if the defense can get a stop. We've been getting kind of bullied up front, and Kyron this time shut down. The Rams could throw for it here. I mean, our secondary is so good. I'm kind of hoping they don't, though. And it's going to be another handoff this time. Still short, so we're going to have a chance again. But this one's going to have to be a miracle because we don't have, like, any time whatsoever. 37 seconds, no timeouts. I'm just going to have to loft one some down the field. Maybe to Trey McBride. He's got one-on-one coverage. Go get it, McBride. And it's going to be overthrown. He still caught it. Trey McBride is in the open field. And that's why he's one of the best tight ends in the league. Oh my goodness, I thought it was overthrown. He completely mossed the corner one-on-one. And the Cardinals take the go-ahead lead. You have got to be kidding me. And that is going to be the football game. The Arizona Cardinals with back-to-back, just unbelievable wins. And we're going to move on to the NFC Championship game. That was like the Diggs miracle play for the Vikings. And now we are on the road against the #1 seed Chicago Bears. We kind of just feel like the team of destiny, kind of like the Washington Commanders this year, just rattling off crazy wins. It kind of feels like us right now as the #5 seed. And the Bears honestly aren't too scary. I mean, 87 overall, we are better than them and only 1 game behind them. The Bears started off with the football, could not do anything. And our offense, which has been so good all season long, is still moving it. We have to settle for a field goal, though. 3-0, and the Bears quickly respond. I want to see if we can answer, again, another field goal. We're really struggling in the red zone, but 7-6 at halftime. We again move it down the field. 14-7. The Bears answer 14-14. I want to take a look at the Super Sim. We are in command here in the red zone. A minute to go. Do not need to score a touchdown to win this thing. A nice little run up the middle here. Breece Hall's going to be short. But one more run up the middle here should get us a first down if we can block. And we do. Breece Hall clearly up into the first down area, and we're going to be inside the 5. I almost prefer kind of kneeing the football and just kicking the field goal. I do not want to give the Bears a chance with the football, but we'll see what happens here. Breece Hall right up the middle, and he did score. So I don't love that. And now Caleb Williams and this Bears offense has a chance to go down the field. I think they actually drafted Ashton Genty, hilariously enough. But here's Caleb trying to escape the pocket. He's going to fire it, and incomplete. 3rd and 3 now. The Bears do not have a timeout, and Caleb is going to be sacked. I don't even know who that was. John Franklin Myers. Beautiful little swim move to get past the offensive tackle, and now the Bears on 4th and 10. Their last gasp. Caleb is under some pressure. He's going to run for it, or he's going to try and throw it. I don't even know what he's doing, but he's short. And all that means for us is we are headed to the Super Bowl. In year number 3, I believe, I think this is, or year number 4, we are headed to the Super Bowl with Christian Sikowski. And in the Super Bowl, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 9-8 this year. They defeated the Buffalo Bills on the road 27-24. And we have a rematch of, I think, like the 2010? I'm going to look it up. I guess it would be considered the 2009 Super Bowl, so a rematch of that game. But in Raymond James Stadium here, I kind of wanted to see the Super Bowl presentation, but didn't really let me. But we're going to start off with the first 7 points. 7-0. The Steelers answer 7-7. We have ourselves a little bit of a shootout here in the first half. 10-7 at half. 13-7 going into the break. But the Steelers, here they come, trying to take the lead. They cannot. But again, still driving it on us. We need some help from our defense. 13-7. I guess let's hop in here and watch our defense. The Steelers have 3 turnovers today, but are still in this game somehow. Our offense has not capitalized, and here's the first down play, and their quarterback is going to get sacked. Christian Wilkins, one of our veteran defensive linemen, coming up huge. That backs the Steelers up a lot, so as long as our great secondary doesn't allow something deep, we should be good. And here's the second 19 play. Nice throw for 6 yards. I don't think this is quite 4-down territory yet for the Steelers, as they do have 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, but I don't want to give them this, and we're going to bring a blitz here. Couldn't get home. Their quarterback's going to escape and just throw it away. And Pittsburgh is going to punt the football, so just don't muff the punt, and we should be in pretty good territory to win this game. And it looks like, I think Travis Hunter's returning brings it across midfield. Braden Mann did get ourselves a field goal, so it is 7-16, which means this game is pretty much over because the Steelers do not have 2 possessions, enough time to score 2 possessions. And the Arizona Cardinals, in year number 4, are going to take down the Steelers 16-7 in the Super Bowl. We completely revamped this roster, and we got Buda Baker a ring. And there is, of course, the Gatorade on Jonathan Cannon as the Cardinals win their first ever Super Bowl trophy. You love to see it. The sim is still super broken. Our quarterback only threw for 145 yards, but did not turn the ball over, and that was kind of the difference in this game. Defensively, it was Leonard Miller, the guy we traded for from the Ravens, who had the interception, which is kind of a cool story. Now, I do want to try and run it back one more season to see if we can repeat as champions. Christian Sikowski, we are going to accept his fifth-year option. Obviously, he's going to be one of the highest paid players very soon. I think we might as well try and bring back some of these veterans who did have an impact for us in the playoffs, like John Franklin Myers and Christian Wilkins, because I think that at least it is good depth for us. But we're going to head into free agency with still a ton of cap space. So if there are any really good players out there, I'm going to sign them. You should have a ton of interest from everybody, and we kind of do. Tate Rutledge, we have a chance to improve our offensive line again. I'll offer him a pretty good contract. Since I'm not going to play this past this year, I'm not too concerned with not really having enough cap space for Hunter or our quarterback down the line. Now, Trey Hendrickson, I'm going to try and offer him a contract. We don't really have enough cap space to give him a huge deal, but why not offer it to him, see if he'll come to Arizona to try and win a Super Bowl or not. And Tate Rutledge actually declined us to go to the Raiders. Chris Jones, does he want to try and come win a Super Bowl? I guess we can offer him a one-year deal as well to just add some more players to our defensive line. Hendrickson went to the Washington Commanders, but Chris Jones, he's going to come to Arizona, have one more season left for us. I am also going to sim the NFL draft. Hopefully the CPU can get us some good players for this Super Bowl window that we are in currently. And fingers crossed, hopefully some good players here. And our top player was a strong safety, Gio Holiday, 82 overall. This guy's a stud. And then a couple more players on the defensive line. I actually really like it. The team is basically the exact same. I mean, just really, really good on all accounts. The O-line is really good. We have probably some of the best weapons in the league, the best quarterback in the league. And then defensively, the secondary is ridiculous. We now have two very young safeties in Holiday and Dunbar, with Buda Baker kind of training them. One of the best linebackers in the league in Campbell. We also have Bush and Collins still. And then our defensive line is led by a bunch of veterans. And then Spencer, Chris Jones, and Odom in the interior. But I'm going to go ahead and sim to the end of the regular season, and we will see how the Arizona Cardinals can do in their quest to repeat as champions. And we somehow only went 9-8. We barely stuck into the playoffs, won the last couple of games of the season to get in. And our ranks just aren't really good, especially on defense. If you guys have any advice in terms of playbooks, let me know, because there cannot be a more talented roster in the league than what we have. Another great season from our quarterback, another 1,000-yard season from Breece Hall, another couple of 1,000-yard seasons from both of our wide receivers. Defensively, Campbell was still a stud. I don't think we had enough sacks. Yeah, definitely not enough. I mean, Malik Bush, who we drafted at 8, and then interceptions-wise, just not a ton of turnovers. But I'm going to go ahead and sim this playoff game, see if we can move on, but it's not looking too good. And we did lose 35-20 to the Giants. I don't really understand what happened. It looks like we won the turnover battle, had more yards. Shador Sanders passed for 5 touchdowns against us. Man, and 6 sacks against our quarterback. But that is going to do it for me in today's video. If you did like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let me know in the comment section down below any advice and tips you have for future rebuilds and what team you want to see me rebuild next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next rebuild next week, probably on Friday or Saturday.